Imagine launching a company that loses money on almost every sale, a company that spends billions of dollars on advertising, a company that ships products across the world for prices so low that they sometimes make no sense. Now imagine that company becoming one of the most downloaded apps in America in less than 2 years. That's exactly what happened with Temu. Today, Temu has millions of customers, floods social media with advertisements, and has become one of the fastest growing shopping platforms in history. But behind the cheap prices and endless discounts lies one of the most aggressive business strategies the retail world has ever seen. Because Temu isn't trying to make money today, it's trying to dominate tomorrow. And that strategy is changing the future of online shopping. To understand how Temu took over America, we need to start thousands of miles away in China. Temu is owned by a company called PDD Holdings. Most Americans have never heard of PDD Holdings, but in China, it's a giant. The company originally built its success through an app called Pinduoduo. Unlike Amazon, which focuses on convenience, Pinduoduo focused on one thing above all else: price. The company discovered that millions of consumers cared more about saving money than they did about brand names. Instead of targeting wealthy shoppers, it targeted everyday people looking for the best possible deal. The strategy worked. Pinduoduo exploded in popularity and eventually became one of China's largest e-commerce platforms. But the company had a problem. China's market was becoming increasingly competitive. Growth was slowing, and investors wanted more. So the company looked overseas. In September of 2022, Temu officially launched in the United States. At first, almost nobody paid attention. It looked like just another online shopping app. There were already plenty of competitors. Amazon dominated online retail. Walmart had a massive presence. Target was growing its online business, and newer platforms like Shine were already attracting budget-conscious shoppers. Temu entered one of the most competitive markets in the world. Yet somehow it grew at an astonishing speed. The question is why? The answer begins with pricing. Open Temu, and you'll find products that seem almost impossible. Phone cases for $1, headphones for a few dollars, household items cheaper than a cup of coffee. At first glance, it almost feels fake. How can products be this cheap? The answer is that Temu removed many of the middlemen that normally exist between factories and consumers. Traditional retail usually works like this. A factory manufactures a product, a wholesaler buys it, a distributor moves it, a retailer sells it. Each step adds costs, each step adds profit margins, and by the time the customer buys the item, the price has increased significantly. Temu tries to eliminate many of those layers. Instead of moving products through multiple companies, it connects consumers directly with manufacturers. That allows prices to stay extremely low. But that's only part of the story. The real reason Temu's prices are so shocking is because the company is willing to lose money. Lots of it. Most businesses focus on profitability. Temu focuses on growth. The company spends enormous amounts of money acquiring customers. In many cases, it appears willing to lose money on transactions if it helps attract new users. To many investors, that sounds crazy. Why would a company intentionally lose money? Because it has happened before. Amazon did something similar. Uber did something similar. Netflix did something similar. For years, these companies prioritize growth over profits. The logic is simple. If you can dominate a market, profits can come later. Temu appears to be following the same playbook, and nowhere is that strategy more obvious than its advertising. If you've used YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or almost any social media platform, you've probably seen a Temu ad. In fact, there was a period when it felt nearly impossible to avoid them. The company spent billions of dollars promoting its platform. It bought Super Bowl advertisements, flooded social media feeds, partnered with influencers, offered referral bonuses, and constantly pushed discounts to attract attention. Temu wasn't just advertising, it was saturating the internet. The goal wasn't simply to gain customers. The goal was to become impossible to ignore. And it worked. Millions of people downloaded the app. Millions more began placing orders. As the customer base grew, another powerful effect began to kick in. Scale. The larger Temu becomes, the stronger its position becomes. More customers attract more sellers. More sellers create more competition. More competition often leads to lower prices. Lower prices attract more customers. And the cycle continues. This creates what business experts call a network effect. The platform becomes more valuable as more people use it. Many of the world's most successful companies benefit from network effects. Amazon, eBay, Facebook, TikTok, and now potentially Temu. But Temu's rise hasn't been without controversy. Critics argue that ultra-low prices encourage excessive consumption. Others question product quality. Some worry about data privacy. Others raise concerns about supply chains and labor practices. As Temu has grown, scrutiny has grown with it. This is common for rapidly expanding companies. The larger a company becomes, the more attention it receives, and attention often brings criticism. Still, despite the controversy, consumer behavior continues to tell a powerful story. People love deals, especially during periods of economic uncertainty. When inflation rises and budgets become tighter, consumers often become more price sensitive. They begin searching for cheaper alternatives. Temu arrived at exactly the right time. Many Americans were looking for ways to save money. Temu offered products at prices that seemed almost unbelievable. For millions of shoppers, the value proposition was simple. Why pay more if you don't have to? That question has fueled much of the company's growth. But perhaps the most interesting part of Temu's story is what happens next. The company has already proven it can attract attention. It has already proven it can generate downloads. It has already proven it can disrupt the market. The real challenge is whether it can build a sustainable business. Growth is exciting. Profitability is harder. Many companies can attract customers by offering massive discounts. Far fewer can maintain those customers once the discounts disappear. That is the challenge Temu faces. Can it transition from rapid growth to long-term profitability? Can it keep customers loyal when competitors fight back? Can it continue expanding while maintaining the low prices that made it famous? Nobody knows the answer yet, but one thing is certain. Temu has already changed the retail industry. It forced competitors to pay attention. It showed how powerful aggressive pricing can be. And it proved that even in one of the most competitive markets on earth, a new company can still disrupt the giants. Just a few years ago, most Americans had never heard the name Temu. Today, it's one of the most recognizable shopping apps in the country. Whether Temu becomes the next Amazon or simply another company that grew too fast remains to be seen. But its rise offers a fascinating lesson in business. Sometimes the fastest way to win isn't by making money today. It's by making sure everyone knows your name tomorrow. And right now, that's exactly what Temu is doing.